You look it up under your state. You could look under your specific zip code. You can filter. You can look at the picture and be like, nah, I don't like him. Nah, he don't look good.
Like
or
Tinder?
Yes, it's actually like Tinder. I mean, except for there's no swiping.
Today we are back with another mental health diagnoses video, and today we're going to be talking about something that I've been hearing a lot about. It's probably something that's getting more recognition these days, and it's going to be body dysmorphia. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, body dysmorphia. So I guess I'll just jump right into it. I don't know the things that he's been seeing because I haven't really had that experience, but we do follow a different set of people. So I guess from my experience in working in the field and dealing with people who have body image issues, the majority of the people that I have dealt with have an eating disorder. And typically with body dysmorphia, it's different than an eating disorder. So first, let's start by you telling me, based on what you've seen in the media and things like that, what is your understanding of body dysmorphia?
I don't really have any understanding. I feel like it's just related to people, the way they view themselves, and I think all that is with the backdrop of media, social media, ad campaigns by, different clothing brands, makeup brands, gym wear, athletic wear brands that are kind of putting out this image and this ideal physical form or physical appearance, and people, then it leads them to, I guess, certain behaviors that are outside of the norm to attempt to either hide what they feel are, negative aspects about themselves, or try to reproduce what they see in the media through whatever means possible. Okay.
That's actually pretty good. You're not too far off, considering some of your interpretations in the past. I feel like you are slowly climbing the ladder of just having a better understanding of some things. So I appreciate that.
Not on my level yet. I'm like next level. Like Freud, who's that?
Just the grandfather of psychology. Anyways, so you're pretty much right. The criteria for someone that is diagnosed with body dysmorphic disorder is that they have a preoccupation with something in regards to their physical appearance that they feel is, sticking out for some reason, but it may not be noticeable at all by anyone else, or if it is, it's something that's slightly noticeable. So say for instance, I have a mole or something on my face, and I see it, I know it's there, and I am like, man, my mole is growing. And he's like, what mole? I don't see. I'm like, the mole right here, you don't see, and I'm putting on powder and, foundation and all this stuff to cover it. And regardless of whatever behaviors I would participate in an attempt to cover it up, it doesn't really cover it up. I would, go to dermatologists. It's just something that I have a preoccupation with that I end up engaging in. It could be ritualistic, but it doesn't necessarily have to be ritualistic behaviors, but I would engage in behaviors in an attempt to cover up or to hide that thing. One of the other preoccupations and one of the things that you could end up doing is a lot of skin picking, because say for instance, I don't like my mole, so I sit here and I'm picking at it, and I end up that area become infected or whatever, because I'm literally picking my skin off in an attempt to remove the mole. And then I'm engaging in this behavior and it's affecting my functioning, right? So it's not just oh, I think I look too fat in this, or oh, this mole is getting bigger, and then I don't talk about it again for the next couple of weeks. It's like I'm constantly talking about it. I'm constantly trying to do things to change it. I spend hours, in a day just, in regards to my preoccupation with the mole, and it just kind of overtakes my life.
So with your example, something that I guess interesting to me as a layperson, I guess, you talked about skin and like your face. So when I hear the term body dysmorphia, I'm thinking about something related to weight, or something that's kind of like your body being from your shoulders to your feet, not so much. But the reason that I'm even mentioning that is because, look at me, I'm a bald guy, right? So, I mean, I've never felt particularly disadvantaged because of the fact that I'm bald. Now, I mean, I have woken up, in the middle of the night, like, I had a dream I still had hair. I had some cornrows, I had locks, I had I had some waves, like all that stuff, but I've never been like too upset or hurt. I mean, I went bald at a pretty young age, but there's a lot of guys who will hold on to every last strand. Like, I didn't do any of that. The moment I looked like, hey, this looks a little funny, I shaved that thing right off. I was like, forget about it. But some people are out here with 5, hair strands.
Don't do it. Don't talk about people
out
like
there
that.
Styling it, getting it cut. I'm like, what do you even
tell? What do
you even tell your barber when you go in there? He probably laughing at you behind you, like, yeah, this ain't a little
off the top.
I mean, like the hair restoration business has been big business for, I'm sure, before either of us were even born. So that can fit within body dysmorphia, because that's something that I see among
even
men.
People who do a lot of whether you go tanning all the time because you are preoccupied with the fact that your skin is too pale, or people who are dark skinned and they use those lightening creams and stuff because they feel like their skin is too dark. Just something that you just perseverate on. So say for instance, someone who feel like their muscles aren't big enough, right? Maybe they're like their bicep is not big enough. So them working out isn't because they think that they're necessarily fat or overweight, but they feel like their muscle is just, it doesn't look the size that they expect it to look, or they want it to look. And they could be like ripped already, but in their minds, they're preoccupied by the fact that they don't think that their body is big enough or their muscles are too small, and so they continue to engage in some type of activity, strength training, weight training, so that they can build that muscle up more than than what it is.
So I guess we talked about what it is, but I mean, from a treatment standpoint, I mean, is the run of treatment going to be pretty similar to how you treat somebody with an eating disorder?
So eating disorders is not my specialty. Let me start there. I have had clients who have been in eating disorder clinics that I've had to go see at the hospital in the clinics. I've actually had teenagers that's been diagnosed with body dysmorphic disorders. As far as treating them, what I found to be useful is CBT. Now CBT, I would say, is limited in in what it can offer, because one of the issues with and it could be is sometimes, so depending on the type of body dysmorphic disorder the person may have, they can either be fully aware that their preoccupation is false, meaning that my mole, like, I know it's not that big, but I can't help myself but to. So it becomes a very compulsive type of behavior that I engage in, right? Despite me knowing that it's not big. Then there are other people who may have poor insight, as you would call it, right? Where they don't typically know, or they're not aware of the size of it or whatever. So I would say with people who have poor insight, CBT would be more helpful, because cognitive behavioral therapy helps with identifying a particular thinking pattern and then changing the thinking so that it would then change the behavior. But if you already know that the size of your mole is small, there's no thinking for me to change there, right? It's more so that I have to change their behavior. So then you could use behavioral therapy, which is different than CBT. It's kind of along the same vein, but the cognitive the cognitive behavioral therapy includes that thinking cognitive piece, that cognition piece. Other things that I found helpful is mindfulness. So placing people in the here and now, being mindful of their behaviors, being mindful of things that they're doing, being mindful of how the compulsions or the obsessions that they have, how it affects their functioning. So these aren't just people who just think that they gain a little weight or whatever from eating, you know, food or whatever it is. This is something that like affects your functioning in a particular area, whether it's in a social setting, in your career, when you spend 3 hours in the bathroom at work just fixing or whatever it is. So I mean, it can be a lot. Again, not my super specialty. Those are the things that I've used in working with those individuals. I'm sure that other therapists, licensed people that work in those particular fields would have more to see on that. Let me just say that body dysmorphic disorder actually falls under the obsessive compulsive disorders category. So the DSM, which is the diagnostic manual for therapists, it has different categories where all the various disorders fall under. And so body dysmorphic disorder falls under an OCD, the obsessive compulsive disorders. And again, yes, there's that impulsive behavior there. With the preoccupation comes with the need to engage in particular behaviors, which is what then affects the functioning of that person.
All right, so if you maybe viewed this, or you're curious, you've been hearing about it as well, and you think maybe I potentially have this condition, I mean, what do you do?
So I would say what you can do is you can reach out to licensed therapists in your state. You can check psychologytoday.com, and you can filter it by seeking help for someone who has an OCD disorder, if that therapist, or specifying to ensure that that therapist has that specialty, or they're capable of working with people diagnosed with OCD. And then you just give them a call, or you can send them an email, you can review their website, reach out to them. I would say that's the easiest way to go to try to start getting treatment.
Yeah, and you probably want to start by going through your own insurance, or your own insurer, whoever that is. I mean, some of you got HMOs, you don't want to be
you won't be out here spending money.
Here gonna get you, hey, I'm about to give me some treatment. You get a bill, everything, it gets even worse after that. So always be mindful of the payee system that exists through your insurer.
And in Psychology Today, I think in one of the videos that we mentioned before, you can also filter by the insurance company. So say for instance in Maryland, you need support with, you know, an OCD or whatever your diagnosis is, or you think you have a diagnosis from any of the ones that we discussed previously, including body dysmorphic disorder. You look it up under your state. You could look under your specific zip code. You can filter. You can look at the picture and be like, nah, I don't like him. Nah, he don't look good.
Like Tinder?
Yes, it's actually like Tinder. I mean, except for there's no swiping, but you can filter it, and then you can find someone who would be a good fit, and then you can call. Usually therapists have free consultations, so you can call them, talk to them, see, you know, if they're able to address your concerns, ensure and confirm that they take your insurance, and then, you know, you go from there.
All right, well, sounds like good information. Hopefully some of you guys found this useful. Maybe it applies to you, a close family member. Any other comments you have, put them down below. Subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys soon.